Hello viewers, we have a question here, a wide question here, and it goes as follows. Calcium carbonate of mass 1.0 gram was heated until there was no further change. 1. Write an equation for the reaction which took place. 2. Calculate the mass of the residue. 3. Calculate the volume of the gas evolved at STP. Given that the relative atomic mass of calcium is 40, carbon is 12, oxygen is 16, and the molar volume of the gas at STP Vn equals 22.4 dm³. So this is a very good question. So let's start by responding to the first sub number, writing an equation for the reaction. So calcium carbonate CaCO3 actually decomposes on strong heating. So this triangle sign means heat. So when you decompose, it gives us calcium oxide, which is solid, and carbon 4 oxide gas, which is a gas. Okay, so make sure to see that the equation is balanced. Calcium is 1 1, carbon is 1 1, oxygen is 3. If the equation is not balanced, I'm sorry, you don't get the full score. So this is the first part of the question. So let's go to the second part. Then sum number 2. Calculate the mass of the residue. So the first thing is, which one is the residue and which one is the gas? So obviously, CO2 gas is the gas. Calcium oxide is the residue because it's actually solid. Now, to do this, there is a way to go about calculations like this. There are two sides. One side is the data provided by the balanced chemical equation. The second side will be data provided by the question, where you compare, use direct proportion method, and you get your answer. You can refer to my first video on stoichiometry to see things like that for more. All right, let's go. So here, we'll be comparing the mass of calcium carbonate and the residue, which is calcium oxide. So ordinarily, if we solve, we have to get the molar mass of this and that. So let's do that quickly before we come back to the actual question. For calcium carbonate, the molar mass would be 40 plus 12 plus 16 times 3. Remember, it's also called formula mass. If we do this quickly, we should be getting 40 plus 12 plus 48. It should be 100 grams. Okay, that's the molar mass of this, 100 grams per mole. Then for calcium oxide should be 40 plus 16, which is 56 grams per mole. So these are the things you must get first before we go on to the major question. Okay, so on getting the molar mass of calcium carbonate and calcium oxide, which is the residue, I also need you to understand one thing, that molar mass means mass in 1 mole of a substance. Okay, that is what it means. Take note of that. Okay, so let's go to the major question now. I'll just cross-checking if my calculation here was correct. The multiplication and addition, they are correct. Okay, so now to the major question. From this equation here, you see that 100 grams of calcium carbonate decomposed to give us 56 grams of calcium oxide. This first data here on the board is the data from the balanced chemical equation. Now let's go to the question proper. The question says 1 gram of calcium carbonate. Okay, so here, what if we now have 1 gram of calcium carbonate? What then becomes the mass of the residue, calcium oxide? It's simple. Cross multiply, make x the subject, and you are good. So if you cross multiply, x will be equal to, remember, this times this. So it will be whatever that the denominator will be what it says. So it will be 1 times 56 divided by 100. So if we do this, I think we should be getting 0.56 grams of calcium oxide. This is what we should be getting, 56 divided by 100. Okay, so we've answered the question 2. This is the mass of the residue. Then we'll move on to the question 3. So I'll be rubbing off the board to respond to that. So let's go to question 3. The question 3. Oh, I need this equation and I've rubbed it off. Okay, the question 3 here would be, they say calculate the volume of the gas evolved at STP. So I'll write the equation for the sake of clarity. Calcium oxide and carbon dioxide gas. So in question 3, we are comparing this and this. Those are the two things we are comparing to get the volume of the gas evolved. So according to the equation, 100 grams of calcium carbonate got decomposed completely to give us, remember the mole ratio is 1:1, okay? And 1 mole of any gas at STP is equal to what? 22.4 dm cube of the gas. So this is 22.4 dm cube of what? Carbon dioxide gas. Then from the question again, when we now have 1 gram of calcium carbonate, then what becomes the volume of the gas evolved? Just like we did the other one. The number 2 question was on mass-mass relationship. This is mass-volume relationship on that side, trigonometry. So x here will be equal to 1 times 22.4 divided by 100. Okay, so if we do this yet again, it will leave us with, without using calculator, this should be 0.224 dm cube of CO2 gas. You can confirm that with your calculator because to move 1 to 2 places to the left. Okay. All right. So this is our final answer. So remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more. Thank you for watching.